Okay, welcome to the Showmatch of the Baltics country tournament. Of the tournament that will be happening next week. For the Showmatch, we'll have two randomly generated teams, all sort of. It's gonna be between not gonna be like in the actual tournament, which is gonna be only consisting of players from one specific country. Now for the show, just for showcasing how the tournament system will be handled next week. We will, in our show match, we will have players Vygatron, CrayZigg, Danny, who is a guest player from Netherlands, Ella, Aya, and Arcis, showcasing the format of this tournament. This tournament matches will be played like a best of 13. The matches will be quite lengthy, and the map will be quite difficult. But I think, knowing how well experienced most of these players are, I think hopefully these matchups will be very interesting to see. And I feel like there might be some fails, maybe even team fails. Hopefully not in the show match, because knowing that each team has a very strong player, it will be quite interesting to see how these players will turn out. I think soon we will be starting the first warm-ups. It's a bit difficult to see just because we can't see the chat of the in-game lobby for some reason. But hopefully the warm-ups will be started soon, so we can see what's happening. To explain the format for the next week, it will be a roundabout system. Like, each country will play against each other. It'll be Lithuania versus Estonia, Estonia versus Latvia, and Latvia versus Estonia. And like I mentioned, this will be played with best of 13. Basically, the team up to 7 points, and the points will be considered counted as how many they gain in one match, how many matches they won, and in the end it will be summed up, and then each team will gain their respective place. Seems like the first warm-up has been chosen. It's quite difficult to say from my perspective, since I am not hosting the server this time. But since now we have a bit different, like multiple people now are helping in organizing the tournament, so it's like not all by me. This time we will have a bit of a bigger staff, so it's a bit difficult to see what's happening in their end. But hopefully they will start soon, and we will have an interesting match to behold. Also, one thing to note, that in this tournament is gonna be kind of like our local regional Mania World Cup. Well, basically made Baltics Mania country tournament, to decide which country is the best in the Baltic, in the same format as it would be handled out in like a Mania World Cup. Since none of the teams did participate in the Mania World Cup, it was difficult to see, but we created our own, and it will be quite interesting to see which of the countries will dominate. Of course, we have players like Vygatron, who does represent United Kingdom, has represented that country in the World Cups, but he will represent it in Lithuania, since he has originated from Lithuania, so that's allowed. But for the show match, we do have a guest player, Danny, from Netherlands. And we finally have started off with the very first warm-up. I'm not too sure which of the teams who did pick it, but it will be interesting to see how. I think the lineups for both of these show match teams are very close. Also, I think this is the very first tournament appearance of Ella, which is the #1 Lithuania pro player, according to the Osmania rankings. So it will be quite interesting to see how he performs on stream and on tournament format. Although this isn't an individual, this is a team format, so individual performance only casts only 1/3 of the 1/3 of the entire result of the team. The team command will, the skin command will be added fairly later, since I made this skin like on the spot, like very quickly, mixing up some multiple types of skins. So it's quite easily readable on stream. A bit learning from the past mistakes from the last tournaments. If you look at the first warm-up, seems like the Vygatron's, CrayZigg's, and Danny's teams at the moment is leading, although this isn't a match, part of the match. Of the real deal. It's just like one of the warm-ups. We do see Ella and Vygatron doing a very good job so far. Aya and Danny struggling. Aya actually failing. Vygatron being a god, 99% and FC with flashlight. Kinda couldn't say I did expect that, but it's still very insane. Yeah, CrayZigg also a bit almost S ranking, but really close. Although this is played in score v2, so the accuracy has a very big role in the end score and the combo as well. In this score format, the regular 300s only counted as 99% accuracy, so it's a lot more difficult to get very high scores. But knowing some of these players, especially Vygatron and Ella, I think that we will see some very insane scores in the match this evening. I'll be shortly going to the second warm-up of the teams. It's a bit difficult to say which of the teams did pick first, but my guess would be Vygatron's team, but we will see. Maybe after the match, the information will be known. But to remind you, in the format, this is best of 13, so it's gonna be the teams will play up to 7 wins. And I think this is the first tournament where that contains actually a tiebreaker. So there's a chance for that as well, if that happens. But we will see. Most of the maps in the map pool are, I would say, pretty difficult. Even though the easiest map, like according to star rating, is only 1.8, I think it's one of the hardest maps in the map pool, just because it's an SV map. Most of the maps are around 4-star, 5-star range. Very difficult, in my opinion. But it will be interesting to see how these players perform on them. But at the moment, we're still waiting on when the warm-up will start. The second warm-up. Hopefully it should start shortly. Hopefully. But if we look at the individual players that will be playing in the show match, we have Vygatron, who is gonna represent Team Lithuania in the tournament. He's ranked number 125. His teammate for the show match is CrayZigg, who will represent Latvia in the tournament. His global ranking is 5,745. And as a guest player for the show match, Danny from Netherlands, who is not gonna participate in this tournament just because, due to his location. He's also a rank 6,000 range. And I think this will also make the other team very close score-wise, but we will see. In the other team, we have Ella. At the moment, he is the number 1 Lithuanian player. Our rank range is 1,000 to 2,000. His teammate for the show match is Arcis, who will represent Team Latvia. His rank range is around 4,000, 5,000. And the third player for the red team on this show match is Maruyama. He's gonna represent Team Estonia, and rank range is around 9,000 to 10,000. It will be quite interesting to see. I think these teams are very close, so it will be quite difficult to say which will be the dominant one at the end. Since Vygatron is very good player, although mostly known as a 7k player, but he can also play very well on on 4k, especially having the unique gimmick with playing maps with flashlight. And CrayZigg is also a number 2 Latvian player, also can prove that he's very good, especially with SV maps, so it will be quite interesting. Also Danny, very good player from Netherlands, who can play very well accuracy wise on a bit lower star rating maps, but since most maps in the map pool are around 5 to 5 star range, it will be a bit difficult, but maybe we'll see some very nice scores from him as well. On the other team we have xxxEla. At the moment, like I said multiple times, at the moment he is a number 1 Lithuanian player. Very good speed player. Can very well hold accuracy on very dense maps and patterns. A very good speed player. But I think these map will be very maybe his waters, if that's to say. His teammates for the show match, Arts is at the moment number 1 Latvian player. A very good player overall. It's very difficult to say how his playstyle has dominated in one specific area, since he's good at everything. So he's like a very universal player in 4K. And I am mostly, I would say, very good at also kind of like Danny, very good at holding a low not low accuracy, on very good player on low star rated maps, and he can do set very good accuracy based scores, also in the 4-star range. So it will be very interesting to see how these players will do in the show match. According to the first 2 warm-ups, seems like Vygatron's team has taken both of the warm-ups. But the match point wise have been very close, so I don't think this will be a one-sided match. This will be very interesting to see, since there's a lot of maps in the map pool that are jump stream based and stamina based. It will be very interesting to see how these players, Vygatron as well, have proven himself with holding very good scores on very stamina based maps. Same as xxxEla, but I feel like xxxEla has a bit more, is a better player considering those type of map sets. But we will see how it will be done in these kind of formats. I believe this is xxxEla's first tournament, so maybe some of the nerves will kick in. Maybe for some other players, because I have heard that some people just underperform just due to like small pressure, so anything can happen. But we will see. This match's result does not affect anything, it's just to showcase how some parts of the map pool and some parts of the map pool and the difficulty. And we will be starting off with our first pick, which is, I believe it's the first pick map. It's a low 4-star, but it's very technical, contains very awkward LNs, weird jacks, and it's kind of mix of everything. It's a very difficult map, a bit underrated in my opinion, but a very cool map. But we will see how all of these players will do them. Like I said, xxxEla is a very good speed player, so it will be interesting to see, will he be able to set the top score in this between these players. Of course, Vygatron also from the other team at the moment, trying to maybe also challenging him, but we will see. We should be starting off the very first uh, actual point match map soon. We have received the information that the bans from these teams are Stamina 4, which is Shape of You with Pelicans and Dragon Forces map. A very difficult map. This is the most difficult of the stamina maps. And the other one is callback pick number 3, which callback picks are maps that were played in other Baltics community tournaments. And this callback 3 is the LN map from the most difficult LN map from the very first 4-key Baltics tournament. It's a 4.6 star LN, and since the players are playing in Scorby2, it's quite difficult, especially with how Scorby2 handles LNs, that the release point is a lot more stricter in Scorby2 than in Scorby1. So we will see. Anyway, this map will be also like a tech pick. I'm not too sure which of the teams did win the role and who started the map selection first. But hopefully it will start soon. Oh, sorry. The other team's pick is SV2. It's a Scroll Velocity 2 pick. We had a small mistake from the team's info. The SV2 is Coinage, which I feel like will also be one of the top bans from in the map or in the actual matches, but we will see. Okay, we're finally off on the very first map of the showcase match of the Baltics country tournament with guest player Danny on Kill the Beat by Lapix. We will see, like I said, this map is very technical. A lot of jacks, weird stair-ish patterns, some weird awkward LNs in the middle. Even though it's low 4 stars, it's very tricky to hit and play properly. On the opening of the map, we do see Ella's, Aya's, and Arcis trio having a small lead. Never mind. Good old caster's curse. We do see a lot of the CrayZigg, Danny, Aya, and Arcis having small drops. Meanwhile, Vygatron and Ella still keeping up the combo high. Vygatron at the moment holding a 99, and he has a tiny miss. Ella as well. Like these small jacks with LNs are really difficult to hit, and the stricter timing from Scorby2 as well does not make it a lot more easier. It actually does make it a lot harder. So it's quite difficult to see. At the moment we do see the Vygatrons, CrayZiggs, and Danny Steeds taking a small lead. Danny a bit struggling on some of the patterns. Oh yeah, as well. But we will see. We have like 1/6 of the map left, so anything still can happen. With too many misses in one succession, the score actually decreases in this score calculation. So that's also a possibility. And it does seem like this is going to be the very first point for Vygatron's team. Very nice scores by CrayZigg, Big, Ella, and Arcis. Although the unlucky one miss by Ella, I think I saw also the Vygatron having a very unlucky miss at the very end. But a very nice score by Ella. One miss, almost 99. Arcis barely S ranking his And Ella also, look at the ratio on Ella. It's like 1-3. It's really, really good. Like I said, Ella is one of the top speed players in Baltics, so maybe in the top, maybe coming very, very close with xxEla. So his speed is one of his main priorities. So on like tech speed maps, that's like his game. Anyway, soon we'll be picking the second match. A bit of an awkward silence from the client, but hopefully the match will continue. Maybe some minor connection problems from the server. Seems like at the moment at least. Anyway, to remind you, this is a show match of the Baltics country tournament, and we will be seeing a bit small segue. We will be seeing Road of Resistance being as the second pick. A very stamina-based map, very difficult. I think this will gonna be Ella's and Vygatron's specialty. But we will see how CrayZigg, Danny, Aya, and Arcis will be able to keeping up with them. Anyway, to keeping off, holding on with the previous sentence, this is a show match of the Baltics country tournament. It's a tournament between the Baltics countries, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. It's kind of like the World Cup, just only for a small regional location, since all of the 3 teams did not participate in the Mania World Cup this year. We decided that we'll make our own for our 3 countries and decide which of the countries is the best in 4-key Mania. And we will be starting off with second pick. It's going to be Road of Resistance. I believe this is one of the speed or stamina picks in the from the map pool. This is a stamina 3 pick from the map pool. Very, very dense middle section with the quite high BPM streams. Like I said, Vygatron and Ella might not have a problem with this map, but we will see how CrayZigg, Danny, Aya, and Arcis will be able to perform on this. At the moment, the map's opening isn't that difficult, but later on, when the beat drops, then basically all of the map becomes very, very, very difficult and very stamina heavy. So we will see. Might be even expecting some fails from some of the players, at least I think. Oh, Vygatron having a small drop there. I believe Ella's still holding a combo to start, same as Aya and Zig. I think Vygatron is a bit struggling on the jump streams. Seems like at the moment that gives a small lead to Ella's team. Artis having a small drop, Danny, Zig, Aya. Very, very difficult to hit those high BPM streams and small kind of thrillish patterns. So that's giving small trouble. Vygatron dropping on the bit slower section, a bit unexpected. That will give a small upper hand to Ella's team, because Ella is still holding a very, very good combo so far. CrayZigg also a bit dropping Aya, Danny, Arcis having a bit struggling on the bit more dense sections. But that does give small. The big mistakes from Aya does bring some points to Vygatron's team, but the score is very, very close at the moment. Ela still holding the FC, and Artis having a small drop as well. Since this is Core V2, the combo is a bit important, but not that much. But it does play a quite big role. Accuracy as well. It's quite difficult to see what is Aya's accuracy at the moment. It seems like it's at the moment a bit lower than 80. Danny as well, holding an 89. Hopefully they will be able to keep up. The solo section is very difficult. That will be coming up. Arts is a bit struggling. CrayZigg and Arts is having a very close scores at the moment, and we do see the intense stream section from the before the chorus. At the end, Ella holding a very good score at the moment, almost a 99. Sadly, even though small miss, but still a very good score at the moment. Vygatron as well holding a 98 at the moment. Aya and Danny quite a bit struggling. Seems like a B rank from both of these players. CrayZigg still also holding a 93, even with having some small misses here and there, still holding an A ranks, but it seems like it. Same with Artis. Meanwhile, Vygatron and Ella having a knock battle. Ella's having a small drop. That's not very good because the big main players of each of these both the Showmatch teams. Ella having a small drop in the LN section. Vygatron as well dropping. Well, the solo section is very difficult. All the streams plus LNs, it's very difficult to keep the combo here. So it's kind of expected that these players miss here and there in these sections, since the map is very difficult. But seems like at the moment there's quite a big score lead for Vygatron's team. And before like the last chorus, Vygatron's team is leading at the moment by over 100,000 points, which is a huge lead. I think it can switch sides in case if Aya or Artis have very big mistakes. Seems like Danny is the biggest player for Vig's team at the moment, because the biggest score difference is between Danny's and Aya, because the scores are very tight between Zig and Arcis and Ella and Vig, but the biggest gap is between Danny and Aya. So yeah, that might be the case, because we had the same problem in the previous tournaments as well, when the Aya's name is so big that you can't see even the accuracy nor his score. Anyway, this is gonna be the second point for Vygatron's team in the show match. Ella and Vygatron with the 98s, Ella with the only 8 miss. Also good work by CrayZigg and Arcis holding an A rank. Aya seems like he was spamming the notes and barely got a B rank. Danny very close to an A rank, but Danny's score did play a very big role and giving the huge point advantage for his team in this matchup, because Aya hasn't had the best score on this map. Like I said, Aya has the best priority, or he can do the best on a bit lower accuracy, like lower star based, than the maps that are accuracy based. There he can play very well and set some very good scores that can compete with very good other high tier players. But on more dense charts like this, it seems like this is not his play zone. Maybe in some few months or maybe some few years, maybe he can go to this level where he can play in Vygatron, Zelos, or even better level. But at the moment, that's 2-0. We will be seeing what will be the third map in this show match. Like I said, most of the I think like 1/3 of the maps in this map pool are very difficult. And we do see another, I think this is a speed pick, I believe so. Yes, it's the speed pick. And speaking of rip hands, this map is also gonna be a big hand killer. After playing a very dense stamina chart, another very difficult, also stamina intense, thrill-based map actually. Even though this map is 5.54 stars, it all depends on how well you can and how properly you can hit thrills. I think so that having a I think all of the players will at least A rank this, because this map isn't that crazy. It's just like most of the map is just like thrills. Although at the end of the map it does contain like a bit of a mix of kind of techish patterns with some small mini jacks, but the whole map is mostly thrills. So it will just depend on who can thrill the best. Hopefully we will start the third map soon. The players are allowed to use any of the mods. They are allowed to use no fail, mirror, of course. We see Vygatron using flashlight as his main, well, basically kinda in quotes main mod that like helps him read the patterns a lot better, since there's less patterns on screen, so that makes him easier. I think a very good decision for Ela, Aya, and Arcis team is to go for SV maps, because Vygatron, well, having or maps that contain SVs, because Vygatron playing with flashlight does give a lot of problems for reading with this mod. Anyway, we're opening on the very third map of the matchup. Like I said, this map is mostly thrills, so it will just depend on who can thrill the best, on have the best accuracy and holding the best combo. I'm pretty sure Vig, Zig, Arcis, and Ela won't have too much problems on this, but maybe we will see Danny or Raya maybe even surprising us with their performance on this. Maybe this is even chance for Raya, because the map patterns aren't too crazy in this. It's just thrills, so he has a chance of maybe holding a very good accuracy and performing well for his team. Although having a tapping the slider there and missing one note does give a small problem. Okay, here we go, thrills. Just regular. Oh, do see Vygatron a bit missing. Arcis as well. Ela still holding a combo and accuracy very high. Aya also a bit doing it pretty decently, I would say. Danny as well holding an A at the moment. It's a bit difficult to see what is the act of Aya just because how big of his name is. Zig also holding an S rank so far. Arcis holding a 97. Ela surprising 99.4. Vygatron 98.4. It seems like this is gonna be a round for Team Ela, but we still have some last few sections coming up, and this does seem like, yeah, this is gonna be a point for Team Ela, Arcis and Aya, thus making the score 2-1. And that's an FC by Ela. Insane score, only 8200s. Ratio as well is really good, like an insane score from him. Zig as well holding a 96 and Arcis 97, Vygatron 98. Danny and Aya also having very tight scores, even though Danny does have a small lead, but Aya still managed to kept very close to him. Very good scores by all of the players, especially by Ela. That's a 5.5 star FC. Nice, very good score. Now we have scored 2-1. We will see what will be now the fourth pick, since the bans were SV2 and Stamina 4. We will be most likely seeing a hybrid, that's I'm guessing. Maybe an LN map, although the LN maps are really brutal. And I think this is a hybrid. Yeah, we're going for the hybrid pick. That I think this is. This is the most difficult map according to the in-game star rating. It's 5.9 stars. But in reality, I don't think this is the hardest map in the map pool. But according to in-game star rating, this is the most difficult. A hybrid map, also containing a lot of thrills. Very basic jump stream sections. But it's all mostly like how fast you can keep and how well you can keep the thrills. I feel like this is gonna be xxEla also one of the priority maps. I have seen CrayZigg and arcis666 setting a very good score on this as well. I'm pretty sure Vygatron automatically will set a very good score on this. We will see how Danny and Aya will be capable of doing this. Even though the star rating might seem intimidating, 5.9, the map isn't that hard, like at all. Just because like it contains very fast thrills, and that's it. But we will see. Whoa, client, please. Hopefully we'll start in the... okay, yeah. And now we're going to the fourth map. The opening of this is quite interesting. It's already like stairs, just stairs, pure stairs. And I think that's the main reason why this map has the star rating that it has. At the moment we do see a small lead at the opening of the map for Vygatron's team, just because they managed to execute the very first stair section very well. Now we'll have a small mini courtjack section, nothing too intense. But this section is intense, and we do see then Aya end up, Danny and arcis666 having small combo drops, Vygatron as well. xxEla still holding a very good score, and possibly an FC. I did not notice if there was a miss or not. Zig as well performing very well at the moment, holding an S rank with Danny, Big and xxEla. At the moment, I'm surprised that arcis666, okay, he now barely just reached the threshold for the S rank, but he hasn't had, he's like number 5 only at the moment. He's just like battling now with Aya at the moment. That's giving this upper score advantage to Vygatron's team. And client is a bit choking. Hopefully it will go. Okay, thank you. And anyway, now we're coming up to the chorus section of the map. We do see Zig, Aya having a small drops. arcis666 as well is having a small minor drop. The small thrill section, and we do see Vygatron dropping in the small thrill section. And xxEla is just popping off, playing very well. Almost 99%ing with score V2 so far. But sadly his teammates are a bit not performing the best. Unlucky miss by xxEla on the small slow jump section. And although the score gap is very close, hopefully we'll see Aya having a small score increase, because he at the moment has the lowest score. Maybe possibly in the next upcoming few sections he will suddenly boom start playing 3 tiers up for his and help out his team. Zig at the moment is also holding a very good score, actually a better score than Vygatron at the moment, holding the lead in his team. arcis666 is slowly battling with the gap for S ranking, fighting for that 95. Now we're coming up to the ending of the map. The ending of the map isn't that bad, kinda like the very start of the map, just containing very difficult thrills. And we will see just like pure speed now at the end. Three people miss at this very same time on the very end of the thrill section. Big Danny and arcis666. Danny missing again. Aya as well. Zig also missing for this section. And now the final section containing a bit more higher BPM, thrill-like patterns. Ela misses Danny and Aya. Unlucky miss for Aya, that's not gonna help out the team. And this is gonna be a point for Vygatron's team. But a very, very close match. Did Artis? Okay, sadly Artis did not test rank. Actually, very, very good score by CrayZigg, holding the top score fragging for his team in this map. Vygatron only holding number 2 spot in his team. Ella holding 98, only having 8 misses. Even though this map is pretty easy, it's very difficult to have like not many misses. Just because the dense thrills and small like the thrill-like sections. But yeah, very, very good score by CrayZigg and Ella. Bit unlucky for Artis that he was so close to the S rank, but sadly did not make it because he was all the time flickering the threshold for S ranking and A ranking, but sadly did not make it at the end. Now we'll see what will be the 5th pick. We have seen very, very straightforward maps at the moment, hybrid, stamina. Maybe we'll see some gimmick maps like LNs, maybe. Maybe someone with the callback picks. I know that one of the callback picks is also an SV map, but we will see if that's the case. At the moment, it seems like Vygatron's team is having a small lead, but nothing to insane. Okay, we're going back to stamina, seems like. This is gonna be an interesting... So far, it's been a very interesting match. I feel like this is a very big stamina training for all of these 4 players, since most of the maps are picked stamina and very speed-based maps. So we will see. This map isn't too bad. It's too bad in quotes. This is, although this is 4.6 stars, I believe. No, 4.8. Sorry. It's one of the speed picks. Even though it's very, very fast, I feel like the patterns aren't too bad to play long term. But we will see. I kind of forgot about this map. It's there's a lot of maps in the map, also it's quite difficult to remember all of them. And there are a lot of stamina and speed-based maps in this, so this is like just one pure big hand training in this matchup. Like I said, Ella being the speed demon in the Baltics region, I feel like he will. I'm pretty sure he will FC this, and we will see a very good score from him. We will see how actually CrayZigg Arcis will perform on this, knowing that both of them also can. And we're switching maps. Maybe there's a different pick, maybe. But anyway, this is again a different stamina pick. Maybe there's some problem with the referee and what were the map picks, maybe. Interesting. Bit of a like a weird map change, so maybe there was some rethink, or like just a kind of mistake in the map selection by the referee, maybe. Anyway, if this map will be the one that will be played, this is again another stamina based map, and contains a lot of jump streams, stairs, some jacks, cord jacks. It's again one of the maps where you need to like just keep your stamina. Although knowing what were the previous picks, very stamina and speed based maps, this is gonna be I think this is a very big endurance test for all of the players. Having like multiple stamina based maps in quick succession is very, very difficult for hands. Maybe for players who have a lot of experience, especially with a lot more higher star rated maps like 5.5 and up, like Hella and Vygatron. Maybe they don't have too much problems, but we will see how all of these players will perform on this. And we're immediately throwing into a jump stream in the map, because this map does not mess around. It's just like pure jump streams, core jacks, everything. It's another one of the stamina picks. We will see a small, very close accuracy battle between Vygatron and Ela at the moment. I a bit struggling on some of the core patterns, having small tiny misses here and there. Zig also performing very well, holding a 99 at the moment. Arcis is actually surprisingly struggling, having a lot of accuracy drops and misses. Zig still holding a 98, 99. I am missing once again. Having a lot of struggle reading the patterns, seems like. Yeah, we just see actually a miss from CrayZigg. A miss once again. Danny as well missed. Seems like Vygatron and Ela are holding an FC so far. Ela actually performing very well at the moment. 99 point, almost 7. Aya, CrayZigg, Danny as well. Again trapping, unlucky. But like I said, this map is very difficult and stamina based. Knowing that they played a lot of stamina maps beforehand, it's very difficult to keep both stamina and finger control, especially on a map like this that has stairs and core jacks at the same time. And this seems like this is gonna be a fail for Aya, unsadly. Although I think he has no fail on, so maybe that will help out the team. But still, CrayZigg also holding almost 97. Arcis still also again fighting on the barrier for the S rank. Although we do see Ela holding a 99.67. Insane score so far. Aya, Danny dropping once again. Aya still has a very struggling on these stairs and jump streams. That does impact the score a lot. Vygatron also holding a 99.3 at the moment. Arcis having small misses. Zig as well. And now we're coming up to the very last few streams on the map. Aya seems like going on the good old spam mode. Danny's at least holding keeping the patterns clean and holding the combo, although having a lot of accuracy drops. But they're still doing a very good job that will gives a lot of points for their team. And that unlucky one miss, only one miss and 5 greats by Ela. That's an insane score. Vygatron as well with 962 with 3 misses. Seems like 2 slider breaks or maybe some very bad hack hits and 100. As well, although Arts is having less misses than Zig. Zig still managed to a lot better score just because his accuracy was a lot better with better ratio and less 200s. But still very insane score by Ela. And this will sadly, even though Ela's score was insane, this point will go to Vygatron's team. Seems like Team Lithuania will be very strong in the tournament, seeing how both Vygatron and Ela is playing. Seems like other teams will have a very hard time. And we will be seeing a hybrid pick. I think this is gonna be... This is the easiest map in the map pool, in my opinion. This is the loved version of C18. This is only 3 point star. This is 3 point something stars. And this is basically the easiest map in the map pool. Yes, 3.45. The advanced difficulty. This might be the a very good opportunity for Aya and Danny to prove themselves in the match. Like I mentioned, Danny and Aya both are very players that can play very well on low star rated maps, holding the accuracy very high. Even though this map is fairly easy, and the patterns as well aren't very difficult. But it does contain some awkward, small, tiny awkward sections with some weird stairs, and it does contain some SVs as well. So I think those, my guess is that Vygatron might slightly be caught off guard by those FCs, but I don't think that will be anything too much, too drastic. Arcis CrayZigg may be holding a very good scores on here, and I'll be seeing how the match will be turning out. Map isn't that long. Mostly, I think everyone, people who have at least played Mania a bit, have heard of the C18, and then the first thing that comes in their minds is the five-star extended version. But there's also a loved version, containing multiple deaths for this, and yeah, Ela, Arcis, and Vygatron did get a bit caught on the SV opening the map, but most of the map I think is gonna be a pure accuracy battle between all of the players. We do see the score being very tight between both of the teams, although Danny and CrayZigg's accuracy does give a big upper hand to them, just because Ela and Arcis did miss on or had a small bump on the road with that SV. Arcis as well dropping quite a bit 200s as well on some of these sections, but that does give a big of an advantage to Vygatron's team. Actually, Danny is the one who is leading this time in his team, holding a 99. Actually, the only player. Aya as well. Actually, like I said, Danny and Aya, this is like their waters. This is their level. This is map for them. Aya actually holding the best score so far. Danny with the second best score. As soon as you take out the intense and dense jump streams and all the speed patterns, it's like Aya's and Danny's. That's like their place. Aya's still the only one who keeps the combo. We did see miss from CrayZigg and Danny in this section. The score is very tight, so I think it's very important for both of the teams holding the ratio very high. Actually, I'm surprised that Arcis. Oh no, and Aya misses at the very end. Oh, so close. Such a dumb miss, in my opinion. He could have FC'd that, but I'm actually surprised that Arcis performed so bad on this. Only a 97 on the map like this is a bit unexpected, knowing that he's #1 Latvia player according to the rankings, and barely a 99 for Ela. And actually, I'm surprised Vygatron actually holding the best score in the end, even though having the small combo miss at the start. Maybe the miss at the end for Aya did decrease the score. Ratio as well for Vygatron is very good. CrayZigg's score is very nice, although having small bumps on the road and some of the 100s and 3 misses, but very good. Danny's score as well is need to be praised, that even holding the combo very high, except a bit dropping on the thrill in the midsection. Anyway, that will this matchup will put the score on 5-1. Last moment for Team Vygatron in the Showmatch. I really want to see an SV map. Even though one of them was bad, I want to see an SV map. And anyway, we're gonna be seeing everything mode freeze, one of the speed picks that the map that was picked prior to this, but was not played. Probably. Anyway, this map is very fast. Even it slows down. It's not that fast in quotes. At the start, it intensifies a bit of coming on like every single chorus. It gets more and more intense, and at the end sections are very difficult to hit. But it contains like kinda-ish basic jump stream patterns, so I don't think that will be too big of an issue for Zig, Big, Ela, and Arcis. But we will see how Danny and Aya will perform on this. Anyway, we're going into the seventh map in this matchup. It's gonna be everything will freeze. Maybe the previous map was like a very nice break in basically in this stamina marathon that I have had played in like previously. Small client issues as usual. So far, it seems like players don't have too much problems with the map. Like I said, it starts off slowly, having only some intense sections, but then it like bumps up in the difficulty massively as the map goes on. Like as every second passes, the map gets more and more difficult. At the moment, there's a small lead for Team Vygatron, and Danny and Aya having small drops here and there on a bit more dense sections. Zig actually dropping this time. Ela having a drop. That's not very good for their team. Zig and Vig as well dropping. Ela also having a bit of trouble, seems like, in the section where with the smaller lens. It's like having small, like tiny misses, but as soon as like there's a dance section, like no problem. But the dance section does give problems to Aya, having difficulties keeping the combo and hitting the notes on some of the denser sections. Vygatron only one at the moment, holding in a very good accuracy at the moment. 99 points, almost 3. Very good job so far. Arcis as well doing very well on this map, holding a 97. Zig a bit struggling, holding the accuracy high. Actually, Danny is performing very well, having a 97, battling out with Arcis on this map, holding very close scores. Aya having a lot of difficulties on this, seems like, having a lot of accuracy drops and some misses. Vygatron this time dropping as well, even though playing very well for the majority of the map. Now finally also bits, having some tiny misses. Aya surprisingly also dropping, well, on the previous section, on not that dense. It seems like the dense section does give problems to both Danny and Aya. Some mishaps to Zig as well and Arcis. So far, it doesn't seem like the dense sections give problems to Ella and Vig. Arcis is well dropping on the slower section. And now we see the last intense jump stream before the very end. Surprisingly, all the players did very well. Not that many misses. Aya and Donnie having quite a bit difficulties. Aya missing like every 5 notes on the intense section. Arcis and Aya sadly does fail. And yeah, Arcis barely S ranks. Very good scores actually by Vygatron. Sadly, only 2 A ranks. Arcis is ranking with 96, very good score by him. Ella only holding a 98 only in quotes, but I think for him that might be a very low score considering the difficulty of the map. Danny actually Danny having a lot better score than Zig, a bit unexpected, but very good job by him. And I think this is gonna be the match point for Team Vygatron. I'm not too sure which of the teams does have a pick, but if it's Team Ellis, when we do see update being chosen, I'm not too sure by which of the teams, knowing possibly by strategy this might be Ellis team's pick. That would be my guess, because Aya is a very good his score on this map is really good, score E1 wise. But maybe that's maybe I'm pretty sure that's there. I'm not too sure. But we will see how other players will be handled, because even though this map isn't that bad, it's very technical. It contains like very weird lens, and it's very technical map. Like it does contain a lot of awkward patterns with having a lens in the middle of them. But we will see how the players will be capable. I'm expecting that Aya will set a very good score on this, just by knowing how he performed on this map, has performed on this map with score we won. But we'll see how other players, of course Vygatron and Ella, or like automatically expected to do very well. We'll see how Zig and Arcis will actually be able to perform on this map. Even though this is a 3-star. Actually, are you dropping at the start? No. Maybe I overhyped it a bit. But yeah, the unlucky drops by Yaya at the very start does give a big advantage to, well, not that big, okay, it's pretty big, mainly score wise, since all of the other players are calling combos so far. Of course, as I said, if arcis misses, and that does give a, but now it's quite a big score advantage for Team Vygatron. But now we'll see on the most technical section of the map, in my opinion, with the thrills and everything. Now we're upcoming with the same section, but now with LMs in the middle. Or maybe I'm guessing with the wrong section. Anyway, it does contain these small mini jacks. It's like, it seems like Vygatron and Ela don't have too much problem with this map so far, since both of them are basically gods. Arts is a bit struggling with some of the accuracies. Zig actually missing, also having some act drops. Danny actually performing very well so far, almost 99 accuracy, holding the combo very high as well. Actually very good score by Danny. 957 and an FC. Also an FC by Ela and Vygatron. Ela having the best score. And I think this is gonna be a GG for the Showmatch. Team Vygatron wins the Showmatch. Next week we will have the actual tournament matches being played between all the 3 countries. It will be 2 days. Most likely there's gonna be 1 match in Saturday and 2 matches in Sunday. They will be casted by not by me, because I'm gonna be playing for Team Latvia. They're gonna be passed by Shant. So expect a different person other than me casting a match on this channel next week. But next week the format will be like this. This, to remind you, this is a country tournament. This is gonna be consisting of all the 3 countries in the Baltic states: Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and each of the country teams will be duking it out and to see which is the best in Mania 14. The lineups for team that I now publicly I can say for Team Lithuania, the lineups are, it's Vygatron, Ela, both of the players who did very good job on this map. They'll be joined by Ross and Iraq. For Team Latvia, the lineup will be Arcis, CrayZigg that we saw today, Ivan Chu, who is a very underrated player. Although he's a 5-digit, he can play in the same level as Ela and Vygatron, even better maybe in my opinion. It's gonna be Arcis, CrayZigg, Ivan Chu, and me, SRK. And for Team Estonia, it's gonna be Xlude, Aya, Janza, and Sunnylin. And both of these matches will be around at the same times as this one started. Next week, Sunday and Saturday. Possibly at around these same times. What teams will be facing up at what times, that will be only known during the next week, when the bracket will be drawn out. For now, it has been SRK that casted this match. Thank you all for watching, and see ya next week when the tournament starts. Bye.